Hello guys, my name is Adam Shadow, and today I decided to do a new video for you. It has been quite a while since I made a Battlefield 4 video, and today I will explain you one of the key things about flying helicopters in this game, as quite a lot of you were actually interested in the style I've flown the scout heli. The main thing in this game about flying is to be able to practice your aim. I'm currently playing on an air superiority server, and I finally managed to die because I had some black passenger in my helicopter. It was kind of getting in my way quite a lot, to be honest. I hope he doesn't enter my vehicle again. On this map it's really annoying. You really don't want a gunner, since everyone can basically have their own heli. So what do I mean by improving aim? The way most people imagine these fights going is something like that I fire a tow missile or a TV missile and I just one-shot the enemy. That's sadly not true, and that's not how it works most of the time, because at quite a level you can practically learn to dodge at such a rate that your opponent is extremely unlikely to hit you. Of course, my opponents are definitely not on that kind of level. I'm not sure if this is the best server for this, because this map actually has some sort of weird features. It was a little bit risky, and as you can see, what my opponent did was quite the mistake. I almost got it. And then is to do these wide, long maneuvers when you are being shot. He's moving in such a strange way. I finally found out. And I don't have the fire extinguisher. Oh, sorry, not the ECM jammer. I have the fire extinguisher because on this server it's forbidden to use heat seekers, and as you can see, that guy is just not bothering with it. That guy was so lucky, he managed to die before my missile even reached him. This one was a little bit less lucky. What I will do now, after firing this shot, I will switch to the pilot, I will switch to the gunner and back to the pilot, and I can instantly go and fly. And I messed up my Zuni radar out. You can see the bottom right corner. Generally, Zuni rockets really feel so fast. It doesn't matter to me. You don't want to reload. Oh my God. I really expected it to dodge. As you can see, I'm staying on target, and I had a tree or some sort of weird obstacle. Okay, that was a rock. The aim for this attack helicopter works in a really strange way. You can see the large eye here in the center of my screen, roughly, and in the center of it is the point where your Zuni missiles will, rockets will go. They fly perfectly straight, like they are probably more accurate than sniper rifle bullets. So the main skill with this helicopter is A, to be able to dodge your opponent's shots, and B, to be able to hit them. You can see I have quite the legs actually. You could have seen that also in the previous example. I could have seen that I wasn't doing these sort of crazy maneuvers. And I will die now probably to the heat sinkers. Yeah. This is the main reason why servers don't allow the use of heat seekers for practicing with helicopters, and that is because in a 1v1 scenario, heat seekers are completely useless. Like, I can easily outplay a guy in a 1v1 fight and he never gets any chance to do damage to me. However, if there are multiple people, it gets really disgusting. Because if 3 people fire their heat seekers at you... Whoa, that was some crazy lag. They are, even if you have ECM, they are going to finish you. That guy, I'm not sure what he was trying to do. It seemed like he had no countermeasures. I don't know if that's even possible to equip, I don't think so. Because he didn't flare, he didn't ECM, and he also didn't remove the... Oh, that was a nice burst from that guy. I was fighting his teammate. As you can see, most of the kills I get are actually either punishing completely oblivious players, and with these guided missiles, or shooting them up close with Zuni rockets. This is not because I would be not able to sit behind a rock and shoot TV missiles all day, but that's not the goal I have in mind. I'm playing this to practice my aim. I'm not playing this to do something, let's see, like this one. Okay, I fire my TV missile from behind the rock and, I don't know, I attempt to hit someone. That's what most tryhards in this scenario do, which is completely useless. Like, you, except when you really need to somehow practice TV missiling, you don't really get anything from it. Enemy chopper spotted. As you can see up close, the... Oh my god, where did the missile fly? Up close, the eye cursor does not always work. You might want to shoot like I did there, according to just this crosshair in the center. For this vehicle, there's no need for a screen dot. And as you can see, he was probably easier to hit than the drones in the test range, which is quite comical. Let's see if I can finish him. Enemy chopper spotted. That's not what I want to do. I'm mostly focusing on this stuff. One skill most people don't even practice, and I'm still like top of the leaderboard. You need to understand this is like infantry. These people don't have a disadvantage against me like you would play in Conquest. That's what most people don't understand, that helicopters are only really overpowered if they are fighting infantry or something like that.
Heads up, enemy helicopter south of your location.
When they are fighting each other, or jets, or the AA. And that was a beautiful run from my teammate. That's also an interesting skill to learn. That's probably a little bit easier to see with the jets. You could see my tiny little dodge from the missile from this side. If you do these tiny maneuvers, you are still able to reasonably accurately guide your shots towards the target. That guy is going to hide behind the hill. You can see that guy is obviously try-harding this for no reason whatsoever.
Enemy helicopter spotted.
And I whiffed the shot there terribly. At least I got some practice with the TVs. Okay, I will need to dive down and hope I don't get TV missiled. You can see I'm moving hard to both sides now that I'm not looking at them, since now it doesn't really matter. Let's fire a top missile, and that's one of the reasons why these crazy large maneuvers sometimes work at people who don't expect them. Because the way you guide your shots in this game is, let's say this way, limited. And I hit the invincible hitbox on this map. And as you can see that I knew he had less HP than me, so I just straight up rammed him. Because I had no ammo and I didn't want to risk dying. So this was a much safer option. Because the way ramming works in this game, it basically subtracts an amount of health from both of you. An equal amount practically. Oh! I have to dive down. Here. This is annoying. And it's even more when he kills himself. Let's guide the shot. So the reason why I'm not just going straight for him is because I expect him to dodge, and as you can see by the quality of players I am fighting here, they are not even understanding that they are supposed to do that. Okay. And oh, nice one. That guy probably hit me with a TV or a toe while I was facing the other person. Basically I was in the right angle towards him, which is probably the easiest shot in the world. And this is kind of tragic when you see it in the scoreboard. So we have now a little bit of time to talk about some of the other things. I will now fire a tow missile, and now you can see how well it's possible to guide it with a black crosshair. Now let's switch to a green one. Options, gameplay, advanced options, and it's somewhere down here. Helicopter, and let's put green. This was what I was using for quite some time. You can see these things on the side here, which are normally there, that are far more annoying and disturbing when they are bright green like this. When I shoot at the same mountain, you can hardly see the missile because the crosshair is also very bright. Therefore, I'm using the black one. And this is far more comfortable for me and it's far less distracting. And as you can see, just having the confidence in aim with the Zuni rockets allows me to do stuff like that. I'll just shoot this guy. Oh, he knows what he's doing, at least partially.
Listen up, enemy helicopter south of your current position.
Almost hit me. That was cute. You can see that I'm not that used to this map. Oh, as you can see, because being able to get even a hit of 20 damage like this. Are you coming for me? Yes, you are. But you are stupid for some reason. Why are you not dead?
We got eyes on an enemy chopper.
I almost wanted
I spotted an
to
enemy
hit me.
helicopter.
Let's go the walls. And I wasn't really fast enough on that switch. Some guys are a little bit better practice at this. I have also made a macro script to do this and basically allow me to like dump fire the TV missile, which is quite comical.
There's a hostile helicopter west of where you are.
As you can see, he panicked because he is probably not very confident in his skills and died because of it. He did 0 damage to me. One thing about the dodging, you might be forced to dodge in an uncomfortable situation. For example, you are moving in one direction and you get shot. If your opponent is clever, he expects you to change direction. Oh, this guy knows what he's doing. And I completely missed him because I was looking at the other guy. These fights are quite brutal because there is such a massive difference between hitting and not hitting. If you use the scout heli, which I would probably recommend a lot more for practicing playing with helicopters, you are way less punished for missing. Since you are firing, I don't know, 5,000 rounds a minute or something crazy like that. I don't know, maybe it's just 2,000 and the game just acts like it. It doesn't really matter. So let me show you a little bit of firing the gunner skull, which was a bad idea because someone was standing right next to me. And as you can see, the gunner projectiles work in a strange way. Now they are firing forward and now they are firing a bit upwards. That depends a lot on how you are moving the helicopter. And when a missile flies towards me and I do a rapid movement just like this, my gunner has practically no chance of hitting a single shot at my opponent. It might be useful if he's, for example, firing a TV at that moment, but it's definitely completely useless when trying to hit someone with the main gun. Also, the... Okay, I won't do this to him. He will do it to me, right?
I spotted an enemy helicopter.
Also, these maneuvers oftentimes result in you losing height relative to your opponent, and especially if you have gunners inside your helicopters. If you are lower than your opponent, it's almost a death sentence because the enemy gunner can just shoot you out. That's the main difference between these practice fights and between actual fights in, for example, Siege of Shanghai or these large maps with an attack helicopter, and that is that oftentimes on those maps you just want to somehow outmaneuver your opponent so you get above him. Because then your gunner just fires, I don't know, 10 shots and instantly shoots both of them out. That does not mean uh, that these practice fights are not useful. They are really useful because you oftentimes can't close the distance. You will see, maybe even in the next round, that my opponents will try to run away from me. And that's quite the issue. And I learned that in super fast is actually a perk of this map for some random reason. I want to also show you a bit about the loadout. You always want to use the Zilly rockets. You can try the Hydra rockets if you are very confident and you might want to try, together with your gunner, shoot out the opponents. At distance, the Zuni ones are better because they fly faster and they also enable you to have a higher damage per second. The smart rockets are just pathetic and tragic. I don't know how to even describe that better in English. Like, the main selling point is they lock on to ground targets. However, Zuni and Hydra rockets also have splash damage, even to tanks. You don't even need to directly hit a tank with a Zuni rocket. Therefore, these ones are completely useless. Like I said, the heat seekers, never use them because on a completely open map without anything, you might want to be able to try them since they allow you to get a height advantage about your opponent. But most maps have something to hide behind, so they are practically useless. Fire extinguisher, this is typically something you only want to use as a gunner, and then use a seat switch, which I cannot show you right now on this map. Is basically you press E, jump out and get in, and your gunner will switch seats, for example using the default F1, F2 keys, or some other button he selects it. But normally you want to use, of course, the ECM jammer, because it is far better than the flare since it lasts way longer. I don't know, there might be some difference in the reliability, but general ECM is way better. Air radar, stealth coating, kind of nice, but kind of dangerous. If you would have here the auto loader like you have on the scout heli, I would go for that one. But air radar is by far the best choice out of these two. If you want the best camo, use something like flat adaptive, or this is a dark map with like flat woodland. If I would super try hard on this jungle map, but I like my orange black camo. TV guided missiles, laser ones are useless. They do less damage, there are very few targets that are easier to hit with laser guided than with TVs, and TVs also go through active protection. Uh, Gunner zoom for larger maps, thermal for shorter range maps, and always a belt feeder. This proximity scan is like if you would take the TUGS motion sensor from the recon and put it on your helicopter. Completely useless. Like with thermals, you get 1,000 times better setup. Uh, Here on this map, I would probably, if I would want to try hard more, I would probably go for the defensive perk, or maybe even combat medic and get the last medical unit, which should allow me to heal my teammate inside, but normally mechanics will repair faster. And the repair tool, small, is by far the best choice. You can also use smoke. I just prefer the grenades because I always mess up. Let's see how it looks. Well, it shouldn't be too difficult. Let's try a bit of playing as a gunner, since I'm completely misclicked. As you can see, my pilot is a complete noob. He doesn't even have the air radar, and basically I have just a big useless block of pixels on the left side of my screen. He's also using heat seekers, as you can see on the right side of the screen. You can see the MRM, or not MRM, how is this called? Sidewinder missiles that these helicopters are using. MRMs are the radar gun. Let's try and shoot this guy out. Okay, that was far closer than I wanted to.
Enemy helicopter.
Please hide behind that hill and don't die. And also please don't be inactive and stop here. As you can see, this is a typical mistake. He is not trying to move upwards. I'm not sure why that is. I barely didn't reach that guy.
I spotted an enemy helicopter.
And of course I get probably TV towed from somewhere far away. I think that was even a TV, because he wasn't even moving, like... That was what makes quite the difference, like he was just staring at his opponent without knowing where the other people are.
I got eyes on an enemy helicopter. I spotted an enemy chopper.
You can see a lot of people are using the dark green camo. Like, this is just comical. Like, I don't understand what they are even trying. Like, this is a practice map. Like, it's like if you would go to a practice football match and you would take some pills to perform better. What the hell? You are not getting anything. And I'm completely pinned down by several people using heat seekers. I didn't even notice him.
Enemy helicopter.
I think he's one of those that have these heat seekers. Most likely, so I will have to... Oh my god, I TV'd myself twice in a row. Like, I would be 2 times dead right now without using the fire extinguisher. That's like the main reason you want to use it in these practice fights. Not because it gives you like some sort of crazy advantage, but because you don't die to your own TVs. That is cheeky for me. I don't know what he's trying, like... His best bet is probably to just try and get some damage onto me. I'm really not happy when they force me to hide and fire TVs from behind the hill. Like I just told you, it's really not what you want to do. Because you can do that while seat switching on many maps. It was a nice RM. And I almost got my revenge for that. Heat seeker. As you can see, there's no crazy high skill. Like, I'm not killing these people because I'm just so much better. I practice so many more hours. I just know what I'm supposed to do. Desperately avoiding to be locked on. I think I might have to run away now. It's also something I don't like when I'm forced to. I'm typically playing like as aggressive as the game allows me to. Oh god. You can see that when there are multiple of these people, it just gets so annoying. One important difference between shooting with these helicopters and shooting, for example, if you are normally playing infantry, you try to avoid shooting when you are not on target. But that's more of a speciality of the tank heli. I will have to try and do this to him, because otherwise I will get pinned down. Behind the hill. Forever. And these are some of the easier shots when your opponent stops facing you.
Got eyes on an enemy helicopter to your east.
I have no idea what they were trying. Eat that and read the rules.
I got eyes on an enemy chopper.
Being literate is important. Every game. The way I switch out of the... Okay, it's actually shooting hydras at me. It's crazy. Like he didn't, as you could see, he didn't hit a single shot on me. Need to do the double switch. There. I think he will rush me. Oh god, and I got rammed to death by my own teammate. as you can see, with just a little bit of practice and knowing what you are doing, can be incredibly effective with the helicopter. Like, these people kind of represent even above average players that get into the attack heli.
Eyes on enemy helicopter. We have an enemy helicopter operating west of your location.
As you could see, I realized earlier my opponent and I didn't hit him, and I will now die again to heat seekers. I'm really tempted to use ECM against them, but let's play normally how you would probably play this. Because if you kind of reach the level that you beat people on these practice servers comfortably, you are super unlikely to ever meet someone who will be
I got eyes on an enemy
an
chopper.
issue on normal servers. As you can see, that tow missile is kind of random a bit up close. Like, it definitely looked on my screen like it would fly straight through him. No idea what this guy is.
Chopper, enemy chopper. Enemy chopper spotted.
You can see that normally the Zunis do 20 damage, but for some reason sometimes they don't.
I got eyes on an enemy chopper. Spotted an enemy helicopter. Due south of your position.
Okay. And I just perfectly killed myself. Yeah, as you can see, even with a lot of hours in the game, you are prone to making mistakes. These vehicles fly really quickly, and especially when C-switching and colliding with stuff, they are extremely unpredictable. And as you can see, I'm lagging incredibly right now. Stabilized a
Enemy
bit.
chopper. Spotted an enemy helicopter east of your position. I spotted an enemy chopper.
So, the main things to take from this video: do tiny dodges, practice your aim, and the third one is to rely on your primary weapon, not your secondary guided missiles. Because that's the thing that will get you kills, especially in normal servers where people can't run hundreds and thousands of meters away from you, like on this map.
I spotted an enemy chopper.
So let's get a nice kill at the end, because I'm
Enemy
playing this
helicopter
too.
spotted.
Yeah, so thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. Bye!